The revolutionary power of softness, how Black entrepreneurs win by breaking the rules of strength. Welcome to the Soft Girl Era podcast. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. Today, I'm honored to share transformative insights from my recent conversation with Mauve Costen, a visionary whose work is shattering conventional wisdom about power, success, and leadership in Black entrepreneurship. Mauve isn't just a business strategist or thought leader, she's a revolutionary who's fundamentally redefining what strength looks like in professional spaces. Her methodologies have helped hundreds of Black entrepreneurs not just survive, but thrive without sacrificing their authentic selves. In a world that constantly tells Black professionals to harden themselves against adversity, Mauve's work stands as a radical, necessary counterpoint, a testament to the power of vulnerability uh, as a competitive advantage. For generations, we've been told that to succeed, especially as Black professionals, we must be tough, unbreakable, always on guard. We've internalized the belief that vulnerability is weakness, that softness has no place in business, that our worth is measured by our ability to endure hardship without complaint. But what if everything we've been taught about strength is fundamentally wrong? What if the very qualities we've been conditioned to hide, our vulnerability, our empathy, our need for community and rest, are actually our greatest professional assets? This is the revolutionary insight Mauve Costin shared with me, that embracing what she calls a soft girl era mindset, leading with authenticity, vulnerability, and self care, isn't just personally fulfilling, it's professionally powerful. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Sounds nice, LeAnne, but in the real world, where I'm often the only Black woman in the room, where I've had to work twice as hard to get half as far, softness feels like a luxury I can't afford. I hear you, I do. And Mauve hears you too. But what if hardness, that armor we've worn for so long, is actually limiting our potential? What if it's keeping us from the very connections, innovations, and sustainable success we're working so hard to achieve? During our conversation, Mauve emphasized three key insights that I believe could transform how we approach our professional journeys. First, embracing vulnerability is not weakness, it's actually strength. When we allow ourselves space for softness, we open doors to meaningful collaboration and innovation that simply aren't possible when we're guarded and isolated. Second, community matters profoundly. Building networks with like minded Black professionals amplifies our impact. Our journeys don't have to be solitary, and in fact, they shouldn't be. And third, prioritizing self care fuels longevity. Sustainable success comes from balancing ambition with intentional rest, reflection, and personal growth. These aren't just feel good platitudes, they're principles with real world impact, as evidenced by several powerful examples Mauve shared during our conversation. Consider the Black Entrepreneurship Alliance, which recently launched a cohort program supporting 30 Black professionals aiming to scale their businesses while cultivating confidence. These participants face significant barriers: underfunding, limited access to mentorship, and that persistent imposter syndrome that whispers we don't belong in spaces of power. The Alliance took an approach that might seem counterintuitive in traditional business settings. Rather than focusing exclusively on hard skills and metrics, they provided tailored coaching session centered on leadership development through authenticity, including workshops on emotional intelligence. The results were transformative. Members reported increased confidence in pitching their ideas. Several secured new partnerships or funding rounds within just 6 months. Many expanded into new markets and strengthened their community engagement initiatives. What's particularly striking about this example is the backstory. Many participants came from backgrounds where resilience was prioritized over vulnerability. They'd been taught that showing any crack in their armor would be exploited. That emotion had no place in business decisions. Yet through this program, they discovered how openness could actually drive collaboration and growth. The program demonstrated conclusively that empowering leaders through both skill building and emotional support leads to broader industry representation for Black entrepreneurs. This isn't just about feeling good, it's about doing well. Mauve also shared the inspiring journey of Kristen Njoki, whose TikTok documents her experience as a Black woman founder building an influential brand while prioritizing wellness alongside ambition. Chris faced the challenge of navigating societal expectations around hardness in business environments dominated by traditional views of professionalism. Rather than conforming to these expectations, she adopted practices centered on mental health advocacy within her team culture, encouraging open dialogue about stress management strategies. The impact was measurable and profound. Her company saw reduced turnover rates. Employees expressed higher job satisfaction due largely to feeling seen beyond productivity metrics. Starting out alone meant battling stereotypes, but Chris found empowerment through connecting with other women founders who valued authentic expression over perfectionism. She expanded her brand's reach internationally while maintaining a supportive workplace culture rooted in empathy rather than fear driven performance standards. Chris's approach set an example for other founders seeking sustainable ways of leading high performing teams without sacrificing well being. This isn't just a nice story, it's a business case for softness as strategy. Perhaps most compelling is the story of the Black Girl Ventures Emerging Leaders Fellowship, which brings together diverse cohorts of young Black women entrepreneurs across major U.S. cities to build skills collectively. Fellows often felt isolated as the only one in their fields. Many struggled accessing resources reserved for more established peers or majority led ventures. The fellowship addressed these challenges not just through technical training, but by fostering peer mentorship circles, emphasizing mutual encouragement, and sharing stories of overcoming adversity. Alumni credit these relationships and the permission granted by mentors and fellows alike to embrace authenticity as foundational for creative risk taking. Many enter believing they had something unique, yet questioned if it would be accepted professionally until finding solidarity here. The results speak volumes. Multiple fellows launched successful startups post program. Others advanced into executive roles at mission driven companies. Their collective visibility has inspired younger generations across sectors tech, media, social impact, proving there's no single mold required for entrepreneurial excellence. By centering soft power attributes like connection and shared storytelling alongside hard skills development, the fellowship embodies the transformative potential of embracing vulnerability in professional spaces. These examples illuminate something profound that Mauve Costen emphasized throughout our conversation. The qualities we've been taught to suppress, our empathy, our need for community, our desire for work that honors our whole selves, aren't liabilities. their assets, their competitive advantages in a world hungry for authentic leadership and sustainable success. This isn't about abandoning ambition or lowering our standards. It's about expanding our definition of strength to include qualities that have been traditionally undervalued, particularly in Black women. For too long, we've been told that success requires us to compartmentalize, to leave parts of ourselves at the door, to be professional in ways that often meant being less authentically ourselves, to prioritize productivity over well being until we're running on empty. The soft girl ear that Mauve describes isn't about being passive or diminishing our power. It's about reclaiming a more complete vision of strength, one that includes vulnerability, community, and self care as essential elements of sustainable success. It's about dropping the superwoman cape we've worn for so long, about learning that softness is not weakness, it's a radical act of self love, about saying no without guilt and yes with intention, about reclaiming our identity, not the version shaped by family expectations, church roles, or boardroom rules, but the real us that's been waiting to bloom. As Mauve so powerfully articulated during our conversation, this shift isn't just personal, it's professional. It's not just about feeling better, it's about leading better, creating better, building better, and ultimately succeeding in ways that don't require us to sacrifice our well being on the altar of achievement. So, I challenge you today. Examine where you've been conditioned to believe that hardness equals strength. Question the narrative that vulnerability makes you weak. Consider what might be possible if you allowed yourself and encouraged others to bring your full humanity into your professional life. What innovation might emerge if you created space for authentic connection? What leadership potential might be unleashed if you modeled vulnerability rather than invulnerability? What sustainable success might be possible if you prioritize well being alongside achievement? This isn't just a nice idea, it's a revolutionary approach to success that honors our whole selves. It's a path to achievement that doesn't require us to leave our humanity at the door. It's a vision of leadership that recognizes softness not as weakness, but as power. The world doesn't need more hardened professionals grinding themselves into burnout. It needs leaders who understand that true strength includes vulnerability. It needs entrepreneurs who recognize that community is a competitive advantage. It needs visionaries who know that sustainable success requires self care. So I invite you, no, I challenge you to join this revolution, to embrace your softness as strength, to build community as strategy, to practice self care as sustainability. Because when we redefine strength to include all of who we are, we don't just transform our own professional journeys, we transform our industries, we transform our communities, and ultimately we transform the world. The revolution of softness isn't coming, it's already here. The only question is, will you have the courage to join it?